Welcome back to the 9th Gym program. And today, we're doing a pretty special meta-analysis, but it is a meta-analysis. So, anyway, we are going to be talking about the Victory Road Circuit Winter Series finale. This is what has been going up in the VR circuit, the Victory Road Circuit, for months now. Very long time, very big qualifier, 2-day event, only 16 qualified players. All 16 of these players are incredibly strong players, and we've got some incredibly strong teams. And more importantly, we actually have pastes that are very, very in-depth. They have the EV spreads, they have the full move sets, the item, it's everything. They have it all. So this is going to be a pretty long episode of meta-analysis, and we're going to go pretty deep, and this is an amazing video for the week before Players Cup 4 qualifiers. So, if you're trying to go hard for that tournament, watch this video, or just go to this link. The link will be just down in the description below. Anyway, long enough intro, let's go ahead and get into it. So we have 16 qualified players. Like I was saying, this has been a while. It is single elimination, so the winners played a lot and actually qualified very, very, very heavily, and it was a cash prize, as you see here. Even if you get last place in the thing, you get $35. Walk away with 35 buckaroon skis, so that's pretty cool. Once again, shout out to Victory Road Circuit Series, an amazing online event, tournament. It spans over months and months of qualifying and qualifiers and stuff, and all these players are crazy. And go check out the website if you want to, check out the graphic. They put a lot of work into it. Okay, so in first place, we have Kevin Salvedo, Lobo Peep. I'm just going to go by their real names, and if I mispronounce, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, crazy prize support for first place. Awesome stuff. We've got an amazing team here. Very, very good stuff here. We've got the Torkoal Venu with the Charizard and the Zacian lead. The Zacian as your restricted Pokemon definitely has proven to be the most consistent restricted Pokemon throughout the format. We started off seeing a lot of Kyogre, a couple of Pokemon, Groudon, Kyogre. We've seen a good bit of like Solgaleo, some White Kyurem in here, Calyrex Ice, Calyrex Shadow, a lot of it. But what has really been rising above all of the rest is Zacian, and it makes sense because it is very, very aggressive Pokemon. In an aggressive format, it's great. It can't Dynamax, but it's amazing against Dynamax Pokemon, which is something you really only get from Dynamax Pokemon, or like weird gimmicks like Trick, eject button, stuff like that. But Zacian just does the work. Zacian just does the most right now, and it's very, very incredible to see it, taking very many top places. I mean, first and second are the identical teams. I don't know if they're identical spreads and everything, getting right into it. They're not. So, they are, teams that have really, really shown up. Eric Rios in second place, huge names. Kevin Salvedo, very big name. Great players. Great teams. Let's go ahead and look at this stuff. So we've got first place. We got Grimmsnarl, Zacian, Torkoal, Venusaur, Charizard, and Lando T. A very tried and true, kind of team here. Let's go ahead and look right into it. So we've got Grimmsnarl with the screens, Spirit Break, Thunder Wave. This has been pretty much the more standard, not really standard in a bad way, standard in like a wow, this is so powerful, of course we should be using this spread kind of way, and a really great, very, in-depth calc here. I'd love to see, this player's kind of, thought process on this, but very, very strong, very defensive, a lot of, for sure, these are certainly going to be calcs for screens, 250 HP, 252 HP, 92 defense, 148 special defense, a little bit into speed and a little bit into attack. Actually, pretty interesting to see 12 into speed, but I love to see it. Yeah, so this is really good. Light clay screens, nothing too crazy there, but very, calculated spread. Zacian, we are seeing the substitute really, show up. We see Swords Dance or substitute really taking this last spot over, Play Rough. We're seeing the Sacred Sword, the Behemoth Blade. This is pretty standard for your two attacks, and then you also protect. We are seeing a non-Jolly with max speed here, which is interesting. Adamant Nature for damage instead of speed with only 92 speed. Interesting. A little bit of bulk, with the 140 special defense and 252 HP. Actually incredibly bulky. Not even going for the, the max attack, max speed, max attack. Zacian was really going around for a lot of the format. But seeing a more defensive Zacian, probably with screens, calcs all throughout there, Very, very interesting to see. Love to see it, actually. Very innovative, especially with the substitute. So that's really cool. Torkoal, we've got a max defense body press yawn burning jealousy set. This has been pretty much the standard with the citrus berry. This has been pretty much the standard since offensive Torkoals kind of like got pushed out of the meta. That was a couple formats ago, but we really see the defensive Torkoals really pushing ahead in the meta, and it's very good to see. We do see Life Orb VMAX, or Venusaur G-Max, the Life Orb. This is something that kind of started to fall off. Not really fall off because it's bad, but fall off because people were going more towards other Dynamaxers. Venusaur kind of taking more of a place of like a Sleep Powder with Wide Lens or Focus Sash roll. But now we're seeing more Life Orb come back. I love to see this. This is what I used in every Players' Cup so far. Was just like G-Max Venusaur. I think it's an amazing Pokemon, and so does everybody else. It's been really showing up in the format, incredibly powerful. Interesting calc here. We do see 140 speed, probably gets us pretty far there. I am kind of curious what that gets us to. So I'm gonna go over to play here real quick, and we're just gonna sign up a Venusaur with 140 speed, just to see what it gets to. 140. 140, 118, double it's 236. Cool. I was just curious. Modest Nature, of course, Modest Nature and the 252 special attack is something we see pretty frequently on the G-Max Venusaur. And we've got the speed, some speed to back it up, and 108 and 4 defense, 4 special defense. So a little bit of bulk there as well, which is something we really like to see. Definitely taking into account, you Dynamax this guy, you're in Sun with the Torkoal, definitely taking into account a couple of fire damage calcs most likely, and behind screens, very, very well done calc. We do see, of course, the Charizard VMAX. I keep saying VMAX, dude. Stop playing Pokemon TCG, nerd. We got Charizard G-Max with Wakanberry, which is something we usually see. We usually see Chardyberry, so seeing Wakanberry is pretty interesting, but due to the, the format, we do have a lot of amazing electric Pokemon. We see Zapdos, Thunderous, and Regieleki absolutely everywhere. Almost every team features an electric Pokemon, it seems, nowadays, and, the only thing for Chardyberry is really, like, Lando T on Max Rockfall / the other moves, like that. So, yeah, Charizard looking pretty normal there, but does have the Ancient Power, which is really interesting, changing up the weather in, when, like, in matchups that really use that. But we do definitely see the Chardyberry when it's a berry, but we usually see Life Orb on the Charizard, so it's pretty interesting seeing the Wakanberry. 252, 252, 4, pretty standard stuff there. Timid Nature, just being as fast as possible is pretty good. Ancient Power, Blast Burn is definitely something we've seen a lot. Hurricane, of course, these are great Dynamax moves, and the Protect. So, Ancient Power over the Solar Beam is a little interesting, but something, very well expected, something that we could definitely see. And then last but not least, down here is the Lando T at Assault Vest. Pretty standard stuff there. Life Orb's already spoken for, so of course you're going to go Assault Vest. And a very, defensive spread. Once again, we see the 212 HP, 36 defense, and 4 special defense. Only a little bit of speed and a good bit of attack. Pretty interesting. No Rock Slide. We see Rock Tomb instead, going for a little bit of speed control there on the alternative. Love to see it. Fly, Earthquake, U-Turn. Very solid stuff there for the Lando as well. So, we definitely see this player going more of a defensive role for his team in general, and I really enjoy seeing that, actually. I think that's really interesting. An interesting take on the format, so love to see it. I'll get out of here. All right, next we have in second place Eric Rios with the same 6, but definitely changed it up some, as we see. Let's go through this here. So, of course, Rusted Sword Zacian, but we do see the Life Orb Charizard VMAX, or Charizard G-Max here, with, once again, a, taking a turn on the usual. We see Modest Nature and 236 speed, so instead of going for all-out speed, we do see a little bit of bulk being there offered instead, 12 special defense and 12 HP. Just a little bit of bulk there. Not too bad. Life Orb, probably just to, minimize your Life Orb damage. But once again, we see a different move than Solar Beam. We're seeing Scorching Sands, which has definitely been, in my opinion, what I've been seeing the most recently. Taking up that leftover role. Solar Power not being too good, not too many rock, not too many water Pokemon in the format. So, you know, Scorching Sands really makes a lot of sense to be on here, you know, becoming that max Quake, giving you a little bit more bulk in your special defense. Pretty solid. We do see Lando T at Assault Vest once again with a little bit more bulk here invested once again, that 12 special defense. So more defense in that, but we do see a little bit more speed. So this seems like a very interesting format. Players going for more bulk and less just speed in attack. In a very aggressive format, seeing that done is very interesting. We once again see the Light Clay with the screens here, Spirit Break and Thunder Wave. Definitely the solid, definitely the, you know, the of choice for moves here usually. A very, you know, standard for Grimmsnarl spread, you know, not going too crazy with giving it some speed and stuff as well. But it makes sense, you know, taking away a little bit of bulk for a little bit of speed. It is good, you know, you'll be able to hit Spirit Break in the mirror match a little bit faster. Your Thunder Waves will resolve first, which can become really, really relevant, so it's very solid. We do see the Iron Head Close Combat here. Close Combat instead of the Sacred Sword makes sense. We are seeing Substitute a lot more on Zacian, so definitely keep that in mind when you're playing, you know, the game. Keep that in mind. We do see Torkoal once again with the max defense, the Yawn, Protect, Burning Jealousy, Body Press, nothing too crazy there, the standard. But we do see the Venusaur once again with some defensive stuff, 244 HP, 4 special defense, 12 defense. Going more for that HP, but a lot of HP on a Dynamax Venusaur could be cool. But the most interesting thing here is Weakness Policy Venusaur G-Max. That's something we don't see very frequently, and I really wonder how that panned out for him. Also, we see Growth, which is a really interesting tech here, giving you more special defense and attack, just being really powerful. I could definitely see that being really, really good. Not any redirection on the team, but you do have Grimmsnarl, things that your opponent's really going to prioritize a little bit more. And when you have Thunder Wave and screens and stuff, you can usually afford to go for Growth turn 1. And then, you know, if your opponent hits you with a special attack that's hitting Weakness Policy, you are taking less damage with that, so that is really good. So that is a really, really cool team. Eric Rios in second place. Amazing player, amazing team. It's crazy seeing actually how many minor differences there are in these teams. You know, going from first place to second place, they're using the same 6 Pokemon, but the teams are actually massively different in, you know, little things, you know, different moves, different spreads, different speed tiers. It's really interesting. Next, we have in third place another Sun team that is very, very strong. We have Groudon here instead of Torkoal, which is something we like to see. We're seeing Citrus Berry and a bit more defensive here instead of like the Weakness Policy normal things that we see Groudon doing. But we do see Weakness Policy once again on the Venusaur G-Max, something I really like to see. Is very interesting. Leaf Storm, Weather Ball, we see the Sleep Powder once again. Weather Ball is interesting as well. Probably, you know, something else. We do see the Ancient Power. Here it is, the Ancient Power on the G-Max Charizard. Also seeing Assault Vest on the Charizard. A lot of different items and a lot of different play styles for these players. And yeah, that's really, really interesting. I didn't have it there, but yeah, you can see here Assault Vest, very interesting. Much more defensive spread, once again, 44 HP, 4 special defense with the Assault Vest. Very interesting to see. Cool things. Groudon, we see the Venusaur, like we were saying, the Light Clay, Grimmsnarl, nothing too crazy here, but we do see the Scary Face. This is something I ran into the other day, and I was like, whoa, people are using Scary Face on Grimmsnarl. Interesting speed tech that you can see there. Instead of the Thunder Wave, going for the Scary Face, something that can resolve on things like Regieleki, the Thunderous, so very interesting tech to see there. Porygon 2 Eviolite, something we saw kind of push away from the format, going more so like Dusclops and other, you know, forms of speed control in the format. And now we're seeing Porygon 2 coming back a little bit in light, so that's something I like to see. Nothing too crazy for that though. We do see Eerie Impulse, which is cool, but you know, Recover, Trick Room, Ice Beam, pretty standard stuff there as well. And then we also have the Incineroar at Safety Goggles instead of a Pinchberry. Nothing too wild there. Fake Out, Parting Shot, Flare Blitz, Darkest Lariat, no Snarl. Yeah, pretty cool stuff there. So awesome stuff to Kyle Geffner. Awesome stuff. Getting third place in that tournament is not an easy tournament to top in. Or not an easy tournament to play so highly in. In fourth place, we have Guillermo Castillo. Very good player once again. We do see some interesting stuff on here like Rindo Gastrodon, something we haven't seen in a very long time. We don't see Gastrodon too frequently in the format, but it does really help out with the Rotom Heat, with the nasty plot Dynamaxing Rotom Heat. Could be cool. We see Zacian once again. Zacian is really just showing up in the format, man. It's so powerful. It doesn't need to Dynamax. You still have your Dynamax on Pokemon that aren't your restricted, which is a little less restricting. You know, you have a little bit more things that you can do. We see Rindo Berry, so it's not going to be like that Life Orb kind of crazy stuff. But Rindo is good in a format with a lot of, you know, a good couple of grass Pokemon. We have a lot of Rillaboom going around right now. And yeah, Gastrodon is interesting to see, though. We also see the Zacian with pretty pretty standard things. I don't know why I said banana. Behemoth Blade, maybe that was what I don't know. Substitute, pretty standard stuff there. Once again, we have the Rillaboom, Miracle Seed, so you get that Protect, Fake Out, pretty good stuff. You know, not locking yourself in with Choice Band and not locking yourself out of Protect with the Assault Vest. This is definitely the way that a lot of players have been going for Miracle Seed and a little bit of defensive, you know, kind of things, but still going very into attack. We do see 60 speed here on the Rillaboom too, which is pretty interesting, you know, opting to go above and beyond with the speed tier, outspeeding things like the Rillaboom, the Tapu Fini, even things like Cresselia that are on that 105 speed tier that Rillaboom is just trying to outspeed a little bit here. Talking a lot. Rotom Heat with the safety goggles and the overheat the nasty plot. Very cool Dynamaxing Pokemon. Something we don't see very frequently in this format. Rotom Heat. Love to see it. We got the Dragapult. Once again, a Pokemon that's very interesting to see. But Focus Sash, Will-O-Wisp, Dragon Darts. We're seeing the Will-O-Wisp Focus Sash. Very interesting. But he's still going, still opting for the... Oh, excuse me. Still opting for the max speed, attack, and everything like that. Just the Will-O-Wisp is very, very strong. The Focus Sash is very interesting on this team as well. And then Grimmsnarl, Light Clay, you know, Spirit Break. We see the Taunt, which is pretty interesting, but nothing too crazy there other than those couple of things. So really awesome stuff there. To Guillermo getting top 4 is awesome. That rounds off our top 4. Let's go ahead and get into the top 8. In 5th place, we see a Solgaleo team, something we don't see too frequently. We do see it a little bit, but not too frequently. Something I love to see, though. Solgaleo is a really awesome Pokemon. We do see the weakness policy, a pretty defensive spread. Pretty standard stuff there. Adamant Nature, just doing a lot of damage. Earthquake, Rock Slide, Protect, Sun, Steel Strike. Pretty standard stuff for the Solgaleo, but something that's very strong. Love to see it. Next, we have Grimmsnarl with the Sucker Punch tech here, which is pretty cool, but still light screen, or light clay screens. Something that I don't think anybody's really going away from. Sucker Punch instead of the Thunder Wave or even the Scary Face tech is pretty interesting. Sucker Punch is a good move for sure. Next, we have the Spectre at Focus Sash, which is something that's really cool. But we do see the Bulldoze featuring on the Solgaleo. The pretty standard the pretty standard self-proc weakness policy user for Solgaleo. Love to see it. Spectre is cool. Will-O-Wisp, you know, you got the Snarl, you got Bulldoze for your self-proc. It's really cool. Love to see it do so well. You know what I mean? Rotom Heat is a really interesting Pokemon that we're seeing a lot of today, actually. Nasty Plot as well. On this, once again, you know, an alternative Dynamaxer, but also just a very solid Pokemon in the grind. You get Nasty Plot up, and then, you know, you start firing off moves. You got an Overheat that's free with the Nasty Plot if you can take a turn to set it up. Very, very good. We see the Porygon 2 once again, something we haven't been seeing too frequently in the format, but is now definitely getting a little bit of a surge in usage, something I love to see. We do see Trick Room, and we see Trace, which is interesting. So they're not going for the download. That might have been a misstep, but player did insanely well. So, yeah. Get yourself a Trace Porygon 2. Next, we got the Tapu Fini, the last member of the team. Seeing a Leftovers, Calm Mindset. Nothing too wild here, but definitely something very good. Muddy Water, Moonblast, Calm Mind. Very solid stuff. Tapu Fini is definitely a Pokemon that is kind of, you know, phased out of the format a little bit. Obviously, you still see it, but not as frequently as before. So that's pretty awesome. One for all, private, but now it's public. Awesome stuff. Good stuff, Flavio. Next, we have in 6th place, Mateo Agastini with the Kyurem White team. Something we don't see too frequently, but love to see. Safety Goggles with the Dynamax. Too much special attack, man. This thing does so much special attack. It's crazy. 244 special attack with the Modest Nature and a huge base special attack stat at 150, doing huge damage. Dynamaxing, hitting up that Blizzard, Draco, Meteor, and Earth Power. This can have a pretty rough matchup with Sun, so the Safety Goggles making sure it can't just get Sleep Powdered. Love to see that that little tech there. Great stuff. We see the Volcarona at Koba Berry, which is interesting. No Focus Sash anywhere else on the team, so going for the Koba over Focus Sash is pretty cool. Volcarona with the Heat Wave for good measure, but we got the Rage Powder and the Struggle Bug. Very supportive for Volcarona. We don't see Volcarona enough. Love to see it. Regieleki at Life Orb, which is pretty interesting. No Magnet. Throw that Magnet out. Get yourself a Life Orb. Regieleki doing the most here. Doing a good bit of damage. Electro Web, but it can also be very, very consistently a good Dynamaxer in the right hands. You know, you switch in Kyurem White on a read, and then your opponent catches that. Takes a lot of damage. You got a solid Dynamaxer in the form of Regieleki. Gastrodon is a Pokemon pretty surprisingly seen on this team and just in general. Storm Drain, Citrus Berry. We're seeing Citrus instead of Rindo here. And Yawn. No Recover on this one, actually, which is pretty interesting. We do see Yawn being on this Gastrodon, which is something we saw pretty popular in Season 2 or 3, Series 2 or 3. Pretty early in the 2020 VGC format. So, very interesting to see. Gotta get yourself some water, you know what I'm saying? I guess not the Gastrodon, though. Thunderous is next. We got a Salt Vest Thunderous, a very, very strong Pokemon in the format. Defiant, definitely showing up. Very interesting to see. This is the first Thunderous actually in 6th place. A Pokemon that has really, really shown off in the format. Being so seen so, you know, lowly played here in this specific event. We do see Foul Play instead of Lash Out, which is something that's interesting to me. But other than that, pretty standard stuff. You know, Salt Vest, a little bit of HP, a little bit of special defense, but still very, very prominent in speed. Max speed with the Jolly Nature, and very, very strong attack. You know, different from the 252, 252, 4, which is fine. You know, there's probably some good Struggle Bug calcs in there, so love to see it. And then last but not least on the team, we see a Ferrothorn, which is something we don't see too frequently in the format as well. Pretty basic spread, but that's fine. You know, we see the Iron Defense, Body Press, Leech Seed combo. Very, very threatening. In the right position, Ferrothorn can be an absolute monster, and it's something that I really like seeing used once again in the format, because I've tried to use it pretty recently, and it didn't work out too well, but seeing it do well in a tournament of this caliber, pretty awesome. Next, in 7th place, we have Taran Bird. We see another Zacian, you know, Venu Cole team. The very interesting to see no Gmax on that Venusaur. That might have been a misinput, because that probably is. Why wouldn't you use it? But I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't care to Dynamax. I mean, here you can see it's Koba Berry. It's not Weakness Policy. It's not Life Orb. It's not taking the Gigantamax. Yes, I'm an idiot. It is there. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah, it's there. But yeah, we have the Sleep Powder, the Leaf Storm. We do see Weather Ball once again, which is pretty cool, giving you that little bit of technique there, especially if you max your Lando and go for a Rock Slide, be able to switch that up a little bit. That's a cool thing. Zacian, nothing too crazy here. You know, the substitute, we're seeing a more defensive spread once again, 76 HP, the 4 defense, 4 special defense. Still seeing Jolly Nature max speed, but taking away a little bit of that attack for some bulk, I think is very, very strong in this format. You know, Zacian being able to live an extra turn, it could be incredibly good and swing the favor entirely into your favor in a game. We do see Eruption Torkoal, which is something we haven't seen too frequently. No Yawn, no Body Press. We're just seeing the Eruption, Burning Jealousy, Earth Power with a good bit of special attack here. Quiet Nature, Min Speed for our Trick Room on the Gothitelle. Gothitelle is an interesting Trick Room user here in this format. Something we don't see too frequently, but Fake Out is very good. Trick Room is very good, and Hypnosis is pretty cool. Helping Hand is very good as well. No Protect on this Gothitelle, so you're going to lose Fake Out Wars most of the time, but that's okay. We do see a little bit of IV into attack. I don't know. Something's there, you know what I mean? But a very fast Gothitelle, 252 and Timid. Something we don't see too frequently, because you are going to be setting Trick Room most of the time when you bring Gothitelle. But still, you know, hitting those Fake Outs, winning those Fake Out Wars with like things like Incineroar, pretty good and pretty useful. Next, we got Thunderous at Assault Vest in the Lando. We got the Lando Thundo package, something that's been very, very strong in these last couple of, you know, months and weeks of VGC format. Yeah, very, very, very strong. You know, you have the Defiant, you the Intimidate. Your opponent wants to intimidate your Zacian or your Lando. Well, sucks. You got to give me a +2 on my Thunderous. Or I guess, you know, a -1 and then a +2 is really a +1. But yeah, it's pretty good. Max speed. We are seeing the Foul Play once again instead of the Lash Out. Something I like to see that's interesting. I wouldn't go for it, but there's got to be a reason these players are way better than me. So It's got to be a pretty crazy reason. Also, Lumberry on the Lando is pretty cool. Love to see it. Rounding off our top 8, we have Ramses Quintana in 8th place. Top 8, very, very solid finish there with the Sun team. Once again, Groudon. We have wide lens Groudon, though, for those Precipitous Blades. Something we like to see, you know, something we saw a lot in the past formats. You know, you go for that Swords Dance, you go Rock Slides, Precipitous Blades, and it's a pretty good time. We do see a pretty defensive spread, something we see a lot of the time, especially with a, you know, a screens user on the team as well, like the Grimmsnarl. Light Clay, Grimmsnarl, nothing too crazy here. Venusaur at weakness policy. Once again, we're seeing the weakness policy. Something I like to see, but I don't really... I mean, I haven't tried it, so I don't know if I can agree with it. But something I probably wouldn't go for. But it worked so well in this event, and it's something I really like to see. Lando, or we see the Thundo with the Assault Vest, something pretty normal here. Defiant Assault Vest, definitely seeing a lot of Assault Vest on Thunderouses in the recent days. Life Orb, Charizard VMAX or GMAX, nothing too crazy there. Ancient Power though, definitely being you know, the main thing people are opting to use. And then we also have the Umbreon at Leftovers, Inner Focus, something we don't see too frequently, but have been seeing a little bit more of in recent days. Snarl, Yawn, Moonlight, very annoying Pokemon, very bulky, very good. I just like it. I like it a lot. I've been having a pretty good time with the Umbreon. I've been using it a little bit, and it's pretty promising. That is our top 8. So I'm going to be going through the rest of these a little bit. You know, we'll click on them every now and again, but it won't be as frequently as I did in the top 8. Just because, mostly for the sake of time. You know, we're 30 minutes into the video, just about. So yeah. 9th place, we have Yosuke with the Kyogre team. The first Kyogre team that we see. I gotta click on it. We see a dual weather team with the Charcoal Torkoal with the Eruption. We also still see the Yawn on here. Heat Wave Eruption, very interesting. The offensive Torkoal is coming back, baby. A couple of them. We've seen a couple of them in here. And we also have the Venusaur G-Max here. Cobra Berry instead. I'm still going for that, you know, offensive with that modest nature, max speed, max special attack. Pretty cool stuff. We have Weather Ball actually, which is really cool on a dual team like the Kyogre team. Very good stuff. Kyogre Thorn there, and we also have the Venusaur or Torkoal. We see Urshifu, which is something we haven't actually seen yet in this format or in this tournament. Which is interesting, a very, very strong Pokemon. But, you know, with the Wicked Blow and Sucker Punch, it is the dark one. And then we also have Pichu with Eviolite for that Trick Room. We got the Eerie Impulse on it as well. Very good stuff, you know, Min Speed, Torkoal, being able to take advantage of that Trick Room very, very easily. So, love to see it. The only one without a thing, I'm trying to not click on these as much right now anyway, just because you were very, very far in the video. But, Colossal team. He had to do it. Let's see if Players Cup 4 is going to win with a Colossal team. Going for that 4-peat. Not actually because it didn't win this last time, but still. You know, very, very cool to see Colossal teams. Colossal teams, love to see it. Dragapult, you got the Urshifu. Very solid Dragapult, or very solid, you know, Colossal stuff there. You also have Zacian. Zacian makes for a great teammate for Colossal because, you know, it's a restricted that's not going to be Dynamaxing, so... Very solid there. You have your Dynamax for your main guy, Colossal, but then you also still have a lot of power and you're restricted with Zacian. So definitely the route that I think most Colossal players and Colossal teams will go is Zacian for the most part. Next we have a repeat of the first and second place team. Not really a repeat, probably. I'm sure there's, you know, different differences in the spread. You know, we got Cobra Berry, Venusaur, stuff like that, but... yeah, doing, you know, pretty similar stuff here. Gonna be setting up those screens and going for the Zacian plays as well as, you know, like maxing your Charizard or your Venusaur or even Lando. So it's a very, very, very powerful, very well proven team. You know, something that I'm pretty likely to take some form of that team to the Players Cup 4 here next weekend. That's most likely what's going to be happening. But yeah, for good reason. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. Love to see it. Next, we have in 12th place, we see the Kyurem White team, which is something I love to see. The Life Orb, I love to see this guy. This Pokemon's really, really cool. Very underused in the formats. Very, very strong. Lando T, Assault Vest. We got the Regieleki Magnet, the Urshifu. We got a Volcarona once again in the Whimsicott with the Tailwind, Taunt, Helping Hand, Moonblast. So pretty interesting stuff there. Love to see Kyurem White. Next, we got a Cinderace on the team, actually, and Talonflame, and Serena, and Regidrago. What an interesting team. Something I love to see is a lot of, creativity in the format. Cinderace had Life Orb, nothing too crazy there, but something we haven't seen in a while. Pretty cool. Sharp Beak, Talonflame with the Will-O-Wisp and the Tailwind. I love to see that. We got the Serena at the Cobra Berry with the Queenly Majesty. Pretty cool stuff. U-Turn. The Power Whip Taunt on that, which is pretty interesting, with the Queenly Majesty being able to turn off the priority and then go right for the taunt. So, pretty cool. Regidrago at Dragon's Fang. Something we don't see very frequently is Regidrago. And I like to see it, though, because it's really cool. And then we also have the, Regieleki Focus Sash. Nothing too crazy there. Eerie Impulse. Pretty standard stuff. But overall, very, very cool team. Very cool. Very interesting. Wish we had some rental codes, but it's fine. We'll probably find some on Twitter or something. Next, we've got Giuseppe Alaria with... Never mind, that was the last team. What an idiot, right? Next, we have Danielle, or Daniel. I'm sorry. Either way. It's probably Danielle because it has the E. But, I mean, it could just be, not American name and spelling. Anyway, Zacian Colossal. Very good stuff. Zacian Colossal. The best way to use Colossal right now, by far, is just, standard stuff. Colossal with Zacian strapped on there. Love to see it. Very good. Next, we have Calyrex Ice, the first Calyrex Ice team. Actually, the first Calyrex or Glastrier team that we've gotten, definitely fell off from last format, but that's to be expected, because we do have restricteds now. And this restricted is barely better. I mean, it is better. It has some better stats, but it is slower, or faster, which makes it slower in Trick Room. Anyway, Calyrex Ice, Dusclops, we got the Tapu Fini, Incineroar, Urshifu, Regieleki, the most standard of the Calyrex teams, probably. We got very, very strong Pokemon in the back, the Regieleki, Urshifu, and then, our very strong supportive Pokemon, Incineroar, Tapu Fini, and then our Calyrex, Dusclops engine. Very standard, but that's completely okay to be able to, bring this kind of team, that people pretty much know what's going on, to such a high-level event and to pilot it very, very well. It's just, a lot to be said. Alex Underhill's an amazing player, so, it's a great team. Great team, great player. Next, we have Damiano. Damiano LaBarbera with a Palkia team. Something I like to see, actually. Very, very interesting. Safety Goggles Palkia. Very cool. Thanks, Kanye. Very cool. Very defensive spread here with the, you got the screen, Light Clay, Grimmsnarl backing it up. So you got some good screen calcs there with that bulk spread. Very cool. Protect, and then, some good moves. You got the Hydro Pump, the Flamethrower, the Earth Power, no Dragon move. But that's okay. Wormwind definitely seeing less play due to, the influx in Thunderous. It's something a lot of players don't even opt for on these really powerful Dragon-type Pokemon. Ferrothorn, something we see definitely a lot of in this format. Something that I didn't think we saw a lot of, and then, we see a lot of and now. Incineroar, nothing too crazy there. You see the pretty standard stuff there with Taunt as well, which is cool. Urshifu, Focus Sash, very solid stuff there as well. And then we got the P2 in the back with the Trick Room to support our Palkia, potentially, and our Ferrothorn and our mid-speed Pokemon like Incineroar. So, very good. Anyway, we are, 33 minutes into the video? Pretty long into the video. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to practice, get ready for the Players' Cup, this is a great place to go. Try some of these teams. You can just copy paste them right into Showdown itself and play it up. That's a good way to do it in this format. Get yourself a little basis on a lot of things in the format. I'm going to be doing that with some of these teams, some stuff that I really want to try. I do want to see more Umbreon, see how good Umbreon is. I really like Solgaleo. I really like the Kyurem White. A lot of really interesting teams, and the first and second place are tried and true. So if you're looking for a team for Players' Cup, don't really want to put too much work into figuring out the meta. This is a team that figured out the meta. If you want to try something, non-experimental, something that is just is going to do well, consistent for 45 games. The Players' Cup is 45 games. If you want to do that and be good with that, you could try that. It's a good team. I might even do that. I'm not going to lie. You know, it's very, very strong. You know, Venusaur is something that I'm very, you know, obsessed with as a Pokemon player still. You know, I've been using it every time since G-Max and Venusaur came out. And it's good. Anyway, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, do all those things. Have a great week. Good luck at the Players' Cup. And goodbye.